Hello, everybody, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 1, Under Locks and Keys. When we last left off, the party fought their way close to the end of the preliminary rounds of the 6th Septennial Doomspell Tournament of Plundan. The Septennial Tournament hosted by the Brethren of the Coast, the Brotherhood of Pirates that commands the Black Flag all over the seas. And while investigating, initially believing they were after the Spear of Ares that was being offered to the champion of the tournament, the party found that they had been deceived, as had everyone. The real treasure being hidden on that pirate ship was Apollo's Pythian Wreath, a wreath that allows you to use the charms of Apollo to command the loyalty of anyone who can see you. Discovering that the captain of Plundan had been using this wreath to form a private army of the world's best mercenary fighters in an effort to stave off his eventual descent into obscurity and the death of piracy as a rogue pirate hunter hunts them across the seas, the party decided that things were not going to go that way. And while they were not able to secure the Pythian Wreath from Captain Imam Umeric, they were able to chase him away from Plundan and save his victims. And his assistant, having been exiled from pirate territories, has joined the party in their quest to discover the keys to the divine doorway, as the party is now in rough agreement that they intend to see the door kept shut and the keys out of the hands of the Boomergangers and other greedy factions that begin to amass resources in hopes of beating the party to the punch and discovering whatever is behind that doorway. As the party returns to Tordage, Anna and Dr. Ku initially began to return to their research, hoping to find the next key before the Boomergangers can make their way to it. However, things didn't go exactly according to plan. Paul, Asari, and Greylog, you all remembered abruptly that the leader of the Boomergangers had demonstrated an interest in meeting with you. And as you rush back to the lab to see if there's been any updates on the matter, you find a mechanical humanoid is already there, holding Professor Plaster and Anna Kemry hostage, and is interested in meeting with the adventurers who have caused his organization so much difficulty. And that is where we pick back up in the Chapter 4 Interlude. Asari, Greylog, and Paul. Standing before you in the doorway, almost protectively between you and Anna and Professor Plaster, you see a humanoid. A fairly impressive, like 6-foot-something humanoid that Paul almost has gussied up a bit like you, almost looking like it's in knight armor. This mechanical construct is almost pure red, but it has white highlights at the joints, and the helmet is white, but with goggle-like red eyepieces. And on the chest of this mechanical humanoid, you can see a gleaming white with a red cross, and the cross outlines a roaring white lion's head. You've never known... Oh,
is this familiar?
Make a history check.
Okay, I'll do that. D&D Beyond, you failed me.
Alright, I'll roll
12.
for you.
No, she just rolled low.
Oh,
Yeah, no. D&D Beyond has failed me. I rolled very low.
Hey, to be fair, in D&D, a low roll is not always a failure. It's just another opportunity.
So, what'd you get? I'm sorry.
12.
She got a 12.
Okay. This logo is not familiar to you. However, the white and red color scheme does invoke imagery of the clothes of the robes worn by the Boomer Gangers. So the logo unfamiliar, the colors familiar.
Okay.
This humanoid, completely comprised of metal, looks over all of you, and
Who all was here, just to double check?
everyone except for the twins and Avaben.
Yeah. I figured if Aben was off somewhere.
Mm-hmm. This mechanical
Reflection
humanoid
in method acting.
looks over the three of you, and kind of crosses their arms, but still keeps the logo on display. And when they speak, it's with this voice that sounds human, but it's filtered and distorted. The mechanics of the suit making it difficult to discern what is natural and what is mechanical filtering, with that same sort of robotic twinge that Igor Konkaro spoke with. As he looks over the three of you, the red eyepiece is gleaming and the white glittering beneath the sunlight of Tortage. They speak. Well, we appear to be missing a few for this meeting, but there's more than enough for us to arrive at a compromise, I believe.
Going to just kind of lean on my staff.
Do any of you know who I am?
By
Well,
your
it's not very
colors.
hard to piece together.
Yeah, I was going to say by the colors, you're obviously from the Boomer Gangers, and we know the leader has been wanting a chat, so it's not a hard conclusion.
But you don't have a name. That's good. He looks over all of you, and as you can imagine, our recent conflicts over the keys to the Divine Doorway have been, let's just say, a bit of a nuisance to my work.
Yeah, I could see how that could be.
But do not worry, I am not here to threaten you. In fact, I'm here to offer you a deal, one that you'll find, I think, to be quite favorable to your team.
Alright, let's hear it.
Well, let's at least go inside and sit down first.
I think we
No
are
need to
inside.
just stand here
Yeah,
while
you're
if we're
already
having
inside.
negotiations.
Yes, and it would also give our friends a chance to join us.
I thought you were already inside.
No, yeah, we mentioned that he's been blocking them from entering. He kind of quirks his head to the side and... Very well. By all means, come in. And as he steps to the side, you note the sheer moxie it takes to invite somebody else, especially one of your enemies, into a house that's not even yours, but welcoming them as if you have the authority to do that. But he steps to the side and with a polite gesture of his hands allows the three of you to enter if you wish.
I'll go in.
Uh,
Do the three of you intend to say anything right now, or are you going to wait to see if Evade
I'm going to check on Anna and the professor, and after assessing if they are alright or not, I will kind of let him come inside and speak.
Alright.
Yeah, Greylock's just assuming that he wouldn't have done anything because he wants us to work with him more or less, so he wouldn't hurt our companions because that would just be bad negotiation.
Paul?
Once we kind of get inside, how long will this last? 10 minutes. But he's a construct, so it might not affect him. Paul's just gonna kind of keep to his shield ready. Be wary of what he's about to do.
Alright. Paul, you're the last to enter, holding your shield up cautiously as Greylog, you take a seat in a chair in front of the professor's desk, and Anna, you go and look over your college friends. Anna appears uninjured, but a bit spooked, and you can see she's protectively covering some of her notes, and the professor, he is sitting in a chair, and while he appears fine, he does appear a little bit dizzy, and at a glance, you can see he does have a wicked-looking bruise on the bark above one of his eyebrows. It doesn't appear to be super dangerously bad, but he did definitely take a nasty hit.
That she'll kind of whip around, just was this necessary?
The old man came at me. I defended myself.
You came to someone else's house, and then threatened them, and then you...
I merely wish to discuss my research with a fellow scientist.
Oh, you're such a liar.
Where's your companion?
Which one?
Judging from the descriptions I was given, it appears we are missing one dark elf and one twin mind.
Well, their location's not really, your business, but I'm sure they'll be along.
He kind of stares at you for a moment and leans against the wall and crosses his arms. I'm
gonna fucking mirror him. I'm gonna cross my arms.
As he said, in his own words, the three of us was more than enough for him to do his negotiations, as he put it.
Well, if he wants to, but I mean, if he wants, the Divine Five, he's got to have all of us.
Oh, that nickname's gonna stick, is it?
Oh, I like it.
It's better than the Boomer Gangers.
Yeah, that's really stupid.
The name wasn't my suggestion.
Well, I guess that's good on you.
I suggest you all not make this any more difficult for me than it already is, especially you, Dr. Koo, as you stand to benefit the most from these negotiations.
Well, I told you I'd listen, didn't I?
Yeah, she's sassy. Don't take it too much to heart.
If I had a heart to take it to, I certainly would try. I'll give your friend a few minutes. If neither of them arrive, then we will continue negotiations without them. But remain calm. I have no intention of threatening any of you. And you may threaten me if you wish, but it won't do you any good.
Fair enough.
I'll just kind of lean against the wall, but keep my arms crossed. I'm gonna do that thing that buff girls do, with their hands under their muscles and kind of pop them out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
The subtle don't fuck with me flex.
Yeah.
All right.
Showing off the muscles that he doesn't have, as he's all mostly robot now. Don't you wish he had these?
I don't know. I'm just showing my guns.
All right. Avaben, how long do you intend to linger at the tavern, and if you do intend to leave at any point, where do you wish to go?
He wants to go see his halfling friend.
All right. Vaben, none the wiser to the negotiations happening
Probably
in
after he's had some drink.
making your way out of the local tavern. Careful with your footsteps as heading to the upper echelons of Tortage is, while intoxicated, is a common pastime, but not an advisable one. You make your way to the halfling shop, and making your way inside, you see your companion currently propping up what appears to be a rifle against one of the walls and kind of looking at it contemplatively. You can see an empty bit of scroll beneath it where you assume a price will be written. But as the door opens and closes behind you, Mark turns and gives a smile, recognizing you, and welcome back to the shop. They kind of dust their hands off and, taking a quick glance to the rifle to ensure that it's not moving or falling over, they approach you halfway across the shop and look up at you with a smile. How can I help you?
Hey, can just wanted to see if you made it back.
Of course. No thanks to your traveling companions.
Did they give you trouble?
No more than I'm used to, but I will admit it was a little disappointing. I thought we were all in this together.
They're just dumb.
Dumb in all the right ways, but smart in all the right ways. That's how I like to look at it. But I managed to...
Find a lot amongst the pirates.
Oh, that's not even the half of it. I've managed to nearly triple my stock just from that one trip. I knew following you guys around was a good call. This business is going to be booming over the next few weeks, I assure you.
What do you have?
What don't I have? Armor, weapons, jewels. I grabbed anything that wasn't nailed down and took a crowbar, the things that were. What are you in the market for?
Oh no, I just wanted to say hi.
Oh,
I
well, if this
came
is...
from the tavern. I needed a drink after all that.
Yeah, I can imagine. The Brethren aren't exactly a pleasant lot.
No, they weren't all that bad.
Mark kind of gives a smirk and a wink to you, and have a soft spot for Brother Ares, do we?
I think he would be interesting to talk to. He seems like he's got some ideas above his station. That's always fun, you know.
Well, if you're going to talk to him, I suggest you make it quick. People with ideas above their station don't tend to last long in these parts.
Unfortunately. It's like think of how different some things would be if like more people like that succeeded.
Well, you and I would be out of work, for starters.
I'm sure we could have found something to do.
Well, luckily or unluckily, that's not the world we live in. And as long as dumb people keep staying in power and revolutionaries keep needing mercenary help, you and I are going to stay in business for a good long age.
I guess so. How are you doing?
As favorably as I can hope. I'm none the worse for wear, despite the trouble your friends gave me, and my stock is just about bursting at the limits of what my storage room can hold. I'm probably going to have to sell a lot of it quick just to get it out of my hands, or paws at any rate.
Who buys stuff from you?
Who doesn't? The Brethren, the Thieves Guild, the local mafia family, the mayor, you guys, adventurers, pirates, slavers. I sell to anyone who's got the coin.
Fair enough. And I imagine it's probably kind of seasonal when people with that kind of money blow through.
They kind of give a shrug, and it comes and goes, but like I said, trouble tends to be universal and all year round, so I'm never hurting for customers. Mostly I'm just hurting for people who can actually afford what I'm looking for, but when I find them, they give you a wink and hop up on the counter of their store. They're sure to make it last.
I might look for something, but I don't know. Maybe we've talked a lot. Maybe you could surprise me. What do you think I would want?
Well, from what I saw in that tournament, you're an archer. You like to get your hands on exotic ammunition when available. You prefer the bow to the gun, I see, although that pistol seems to have gotten drawn a few times.
It's special.
You wouldn't be looking to sell by any chance, would you?
No. I need it.
Don't we all? I'll take a look around and see what I got. You in the market for a new bow?
I don't know what I'm looking for. Just maybe some suggestions to help me decide if I want to get something. I don't even know if I necessarily do want to get something. Maybe I just want to talk to you because you're such a good person to talk to.
Oh, flattery will get you everywhere, but it won't get you a discount. Well, if you're just looking to window shop, let me grab a few things from the back and see. And they kind of hesitate for a moment and just give a shrug. See what I'm not too lazy to grab, and see if you care for any of it. I'm not really sure what to provide a window shopper, but I'll see what I've got. Just a few moments. They hop off the counter and scuttle
As
to
he
the
walks
back.
away, he's just like, don't underestimate what I could do to get something from you.
Are you robbing me?
No. I didn't mean like that. A lot of alcohol can make one do a lot of things.
They give a smirk, and then, well, let's see if I can surprise you. And they disappear into the back room, their assistant scampering out after a moment to just keep an eye on you while their master takes a look around.
Takes a loopy seat down.
A few minutes pass in the laboratory, and eventually the construct kind of takes a look around, and it appears neither of them are coming. Then I suppose it's time for our negotiations.
Of course.
They uncross their arms and, kind of examining their fingers in a seemingly deliberate effort to look casual, the goggled red eyes glance over all of you, and first things first. I suppose you were expecting this, but it can't hurt to ask. I would like to extend a formal invitation for the Divine Five to join the Boomer Gangers. As far as I can understand it, we want the same thing, do we not?
No.
No.
We want to keep it shut.
At this, the construct kind of tilts their head, and to what end?
Well, in our opinion, the risk outweighs the reward. There's too many different stories about what's on the other side. Y'all say it's high-tech technology, while others say it's a curse. Some say it's other riches like gold, jewels, and magical items. And it's like, who is to say what's actually there? So,
You expect me to believe that you are simply so, what's the word? Generous that you will deny the chance at personal riches for a minimal risk of danger.
Well, it's not a minimal risk when, the entire world is at risk.
It is a minimal
why
risk.
get riches if you can't enjoy them?
It is a minimal risk only to the ignorant. But I expected you to refuse, so I will not press the matter. My second offer I think you'll find far more agreeable, but I could not in good conscience deny the opportunity to join forces. Your efforts have alerted many other factions, rivals to our claim, and I thought perhaps it would be logical to work together against these threats to our wealth.
No.
In that case. And they move their hands in a kind of odd motion. Their hands go to the front of their waist, and they just kind of like drum uselessly against the metal leggings. But Paul, you think you realize they're doing the motion one would do when adjusting a suit, but given that this is just a living suit of armor, there is no suit for them to adjust.
Well, old habits die hard.
My second offer, or I suppose less an offer and more of an observation. At the moment, our shared journey is more than halfway over. By my calculations, I possess 2 keys, you possess 3, which means there are only 3 that are unaccounted for. Ordinarily, I would simply wish you luck in your hunt and may the better man win. But I think you'll find my decision on the matter to be most agreeable. The Boomer Gangers are giving up the hunt.
By what it means.
Yeah, what's the catch?
No catch.
If y'all are giving up the hunt, then what is y'all's new goal?
There's a moment of pause, and Anna, for the first time since this conversation began, is the one to speak up. I see what he's doing. He already has keys in his possession. You want us to bring the rest to you. By my understanding, if you wish to keep the door out of my hands, then if you want to be absolutely certain, you can't rest until you possess all the keys. Seeing as I already possess 2 of them, well, what need do I have for the rest? All I have to do is wait. You'll gather the rest and bring them all to me.
And what makes you think that we're going to bring them to you?
Because you don't have a choice.
You don't? What do you mean
Well,
by that?
Yeah.
Read.
If you simply intend to let me have my 2 keys and gather up the other 6, well, I won't deny I'd certainly find that agreeable, but we both know that's not going to be the case.
Why
The fact
not?
that I have those keys will eat away at your minds. The fact that I could come and claim the other 6 at any time, and you will never be safe. The quest will never be over. So until you possess all 8 for yourselves, all I have to do is wait, and you will come to me.
Alright.
Well,
sounds agreeable
there's
to
another
me.
option.
Does sound agreeable to me.
Well,
No,
I think
no,
he's
We'll come to you, and no, we're not bringing our item. We're bringing our soul.
Well, I'll just let them
How
have it.
primitive.
They don't really need the other keys, so...
Yeah, because there's two other possibilities that you're not accounting for.
Oh.
One, we already have 3 keys. We just re-hide them ourselves, keep them away from you. You can't open the door without them. Or we destroy one of them, which will make it permanently unable to be opened, at least from that set.
Oh, I see. So,
God, I wish Vaben was still actually knew this was going on.
What? Nope.
how interesting. You would destroy one of the gods' prized artifacts in order to hide it from me, incurring the
Hey,
wrath
the
of both
gods-
myself and the gods. A
The
fascinating
gods got
conclusion.
their items one way or another. They can always get another. They are
Oh,
gods after all.
Oh, I'm sure they'll see it that way.
Yeah.
It sounds like a risky play there. I would more just let them have the keys. Bringing them all together is not even a good idea. So, why would we hunt down the rest of the keys if we know they're separate?
The construct gives a shrug of the shoulders and mortal opinions on my calculations aren't my concern. My point is, if you will not join me in hunting the keys, I have no intention of getting in your way hunting the remaining ones. My organization has other ends to see to. So, for the time being, I'm simply here to offer my organization's formal surrender to the Divine Five. You win. Congratulations. And you hear what sounds like a somewhat crackly recording of a party popper going off.
My God, I have expected to hear like canned applause or something.
My organization and its agents will trouble you no further. In fact, I'd be more than willing to offer my assistance in you finding the remaining keys.
Well, the other guy with syndical metal arms said y'all already supposedly know where they all are, just haven't retrieved them yet.
Exactly. And as I understand it, you're using primitive methods of finding them. One at a time, that sort of thing.
And you just, out of the goodness of your soul, since you already said you have no heart, would be willing to give us all this information just to let us go get the keys for you.
That is an accurate summation, although I must protest the declaration that I have a soul. I do not believe in such primitive ideas.
Soul, consciousness, whatever makes you, you know. But either
Right.
way, yeah, we'll go with that. Okay. If you'll give us that, I'm sure you're wanting something.
Oh, on the contrary. You're already giving me everything I want. Me pulling my forces out does nothing but benefit me in the long run, and with my forces no longer troubling you, all you have to do is continue doing as you were, only with less resistance. It seems like a fair deal for all involved.
Yeah, he just wants us to collect the keys, and he'll collect them at a later date.
An accurate summation.
How
Okay.
about this?
This is Amanda because Amanda doesn't want to sound stupid, but like if we give him all the fucking keys, couldn't he just?
We're not
open
going to
the door?
actually. We're not actually going to give him the keys. He's pretty much saying, once we have all the keys, it's going to come down to who's the strongest person and keep them from the other person.
Yeah, because
It's going
basically,
to come down to a fight.
you guys are going to do the hard shit of actually getting them, and then once you have 6 and he has 2, he's basically pointing out, are you really going to be comfortable just basically hiding 6 godly artifacts for potentially forever, while he and his
Sorry.
cult hunts you down.
God, I just have to say, like, no. We would just have
Yeah.
to keep them until the gods want them back.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's what Asari is.
Once the Divine Council ends, we just give the items back, and good fucking luck taking it from them.
Yeah,
This
I
is
would
why
say
I wish
that.
Abaven was there, because it's such an obvious thing to point out.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Asari would also and you know, bring that as a point to him. Just, you know, or we can just, you know, give him back.
The
You could, you know, challenge the gods.
Oh, I've already thought ahead on that sort of thing. The
Be
reason
my
the
guest.
artifacts are currently scattered is because of the ongoing Divine Council. As long as I have even a single key in my possession, the gods can't reclaim the other ones until all are located. After all, it would certainly be a bad appearance for some, but not others, to have their signature weapons. And how does that make the gods look, for them to be so weak just after a conclusion of their meeting? The gods are already aware of our hunt, but they are unable to get to me, and because they can't get to me, they can't get to you. I'm protecting you. We have a shared interest. And until all keys are within the gods' reach, they can't claim even a single one.
Yeah, this is just sounding like a bunch of bullshit.
No, it makes sense. Because they give each other the proper respect, and since they respect each other, they can't put one of them up, or they can't put themselves above the others.
I wouldn't call it respect, and more of a logical assumption that if one is armed and the other isn't, what is to stop the armed one from taking power from the unarmed? That is how the world works, after all. The strong overpower the weak.
Well, I'm willing to, if you're willing to give us the locations, that would definitely speed us along. Of course, we'll probably double check them, of course, just for our own sake of mind to know what we're getting into.
Oh, I'd be incredibly disappointed if you simply took my word on the matter. As you believe we are still ideologically opposed, and I do admit I have my disagreements with some of you.
You just hear
Oh,
a
sure.
snort from Asari.
So since you're stepping out of the chase, would you be willing to put your people towards a different goal? At least for the time being.
Oh.
Yeah, we made some friends among the pirates, and there's someone hunting them. I'm sure they wouldn't stand any challenge or threat to y'all, but you know.
Far from it. With my resources, the pirate hunter would be like swatting a fly.
Then, would you be willing to swat the fly?
No.
Well, that's not how this works. You know that, right? You can't just get something for nothing.
Oh, I'm
Well,
not
he's
asking.
giving us plenty.
Indeed. If anything, while I admit I gain quite a bit from this, I'm gaining through inaction, not through action. Unless you are expecting recompense for me doing nothing, which would not surprise me, Dr. Koo, but it would disappoint me.
She just kind of rolls her eyes.
Just a request, nothing more.
I'm afraid I must refuse. The pirate hunter is of no concern of mine.
Really now.
What do I care? If anything, our goals are more aligned than you and I's are.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I will get like a pen and paper to get the information from him.
Well, I'm not entirely comfortable making this decision without the girls and Ivan.
Well, this is going to benefit us. We're not making any real deals here. He's just giving us information to help speed us along, nothing more.
Indeed, I stand to benefit, but if you believe my information to be false, you may double-check it with your primitive doctorates.
You just see Asari's eyes just narrow like daggers. Don't test my temper.
What do I have to fear from you, Dr. Ku? You don't know my name. I'm not physically present at this interaction. The worst you can do is cost me some gold destroying this automaton. Like it or not, Dr. Ku, you have no power over me. I'm sure that's a new sensation for you, but one that you're going to have to get used to in the coming months.
But you see, I don't need a name.
Oh?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no, please. Let her speak. I'm
No.
curious to hear what amazing feat of magical manipulation she intends to pull. Tell me, how are you going to break all the laws of divination to locate me when you know nothing about me?
I don't have to break any laws. And I don't have to tell you anything. Like you said, you're not here, so it's not like you can make me.
Unlike you, I don't have to be there to be a threat, as your professor can attest. But
Sorry, can we not with the threats? You already lost one fight to someone else. Let's not add to it right now.
I'm just saying I don't feel comfortable doing this without the rest of our team.
well, in that case,
Yes,
I will not
but
ask
we
you
don't
to.
know where they are.
Well, plus it's not really much of a. We're not really making a decision at all.
We're just getting information, as if you were reading a book.
But, Dr. Ku, if it would comfort your heart, let us alter the deal. I will not tell you the location if this brings you discomfort, but I'm more than willing to give you a hint. After all, I believe your minds may struggle to locate this next one on your own, and I am not a patient man.
Okay. So just Amanda talking now, because I'm confused. We're just getting information.
Yeah, that's all we're getting. That's the only
he's
thing
literally,
we're doing.
he's saying, I have no intention of getting in your way for the rest of this journey, because as far as I'm concerned, it is inevitable that I will win, so at this point, all I have to do is wait. But in the interest of speeding things along, he's willing to help you out indirectly, without committing any of his resources to doing it. So
Okay.
whether you take his info or not, he's stepping out of the running. The Boomergangers will not threaten you until all the keys have been accounted for. But until then, he's willing to be like, hey, here's a little step in the right direction so that you can get my key for me.
Yeah, no, Amanda was very confused by what was happening. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of say, if you want to give the locations, but like Greylog so beautifully put it, we'll be double checking.
Just for ideas of the locations, where they're at, what to expect from the area. We need to pack sunscreen, the basics.
Hey, you're just so
In
you're
fact,
so pasty, love.
In fact, I would actually recommend you bundle up. You're going to one of the coldest regions of the world outside of the caps. That compass of yours, primitive technology that it is. You may find during your studies that it does not lead you to a precise location. It simply leads to a dead end. This is why I felt the need to get involved. There is more to that dead end than what it appears. Behind every wall can be a doorway. So, Dr. Koo, if you're willing to take advice from one scientist to another, that is my advice to you. Where you, the professor, and Miss Kemry, Dr. Kemry, right. Where the three of you see a dead end, there is actually a doorway.
Is it magically concealed?
In a sense.
And how would we see said doorway?
I might actually have a way.
Well, he's obviously already seen them, so I'd rather have like hard, like facts at the moment.
Really? Perhaps you and I may be able to get along after all, Mr. Orchin.
Hey, whatever makes our job easier.
Paul, may I call you Mr. Whitefeather?
Now, Matt. Never really talked about this. I saw you said something about that. Do I remember that name?
Make a history check.
Three.
The name is unfamiliar to you.
Not sure why you'd call me that, but you could just call me Paul.
Very well. I would ordinarily, in the interest of politeness, give you my name, but understand I have to take precautions. Your friends would try to track me if you knew my identity. You understand.
Yeah.
This is a somewhat strange request, I know, but it will give you a push in the right direction, I think. And pardon me if it seems presumptuous of me, but I think you may fail to come to this conclusion without my aid. Would you, for the honor of everyone here, mind sticking out your tongue?
Do it. He'll kind of just like look a little like squints his eyes a little bit and just slowly will do it.
As you all watch Paul stick his tongue out, confused, you're all taken aback. Where you expect to see, the typical human fleshy pink, you instead see the tongue is stained this midnight bluish black.
Oh my.
That's odd.
Oh.
Have I heard about anything like this before?
Make a religion check.
Okay, that's interesting. Religion check.
I know what this is. Well,
Oh,
I myself know what this is.
Yeah,
you
but
think
great.
you know?
A character does not.
You said religion, right?
Yes.
Ooh, 21.
A tongue like this is typically a sign of infection from the demon god Eat, aka the Epping Aquatarchus.
Okay.
One of the gods that was felled during the Titanomachy and cursed with a sateless gluttony is confined to a lake in the region of Yav, where any who touch the water, their insides are tainted blue by the waters, and Eat enters their minds. From what you've heard, Eat seeks knowledge from the minds of others in order to find a cure for its curse.
Okay, I'll just kind of look from Paul to Robot dude. I can't remember his name right
Well, he
now.
hasn't given you one.
He didn't give us a name.
Alright, so,
He's deliberately not giving you a name because he knows that divination magic would let you find him if he did.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright,
We're
Mr.
wondering
Roboto.
about it.
No, his name is Mr. Roboto right now.
Domo arigato.
Yeah.
Robotnik?
Yeah. Robot Man. Like, she looks between them and just like, how is that possible?
Paul, would I be correct in saying that you have some form of memory loss? A part of your life that you can't account for?
Oh my god.
That does sound accurate.
Well, perhaps I can pay you in more than the location of the key. I can pay you in recollection. Find the Epping Aquatarchus, and you will find your answers. The demon...
I'm snapping at Anna to make a note.
Anna nods and immediately starts, like, not only scrawling down notes, but the professor starts pulling down various books on demonology and religion to find information on
Yeah,
each.
Zari's just like snapping, like, get on it, bitch. I'll be there in a sec.
And from the looks of it, your companion has already had an encounter with the demon. Perhaps you can leverage this to your advantage.
Do you remember having an encounter with this demon, Paul?
Well, I mean, kind of with the whole fact of memory loss, no. Or at least I don't know who this Eats
Yeah,
is.
I realize that you have memory loss, but I don't know how much memory loss you have.
I don't know who this Eats is, so...
That's to be expected. Eat completely overtakes one's mind, pries it for information, to sate their gluttony. However, the fact that you have not been completely converted into a camper means that while you have been touched by Eat, you have not been changed, which means you gave Eat something, and in exchange, Eat let you see what's on the other side of the lake.
I'm not really sure what I have to offer, so...
Whatever you did, it's lost now, unaccounted for in the blank void of your lost memories. Perhaps you can negotiate for their return on encountering the creature. It makes no difference to me.
Either way, can I still get that list of for the where the other artifacts are?
I'm afraid not. I will come and find you after you find the Spell Twin Wands, and afterwards, then, and only then, will you receive the next location.
You see what you did, Asari?
Oh, this has nothing to do with the disrespect of Dr. Ku. People of our intelligence, it's natural to have disagreements. No, this is simply me being wise with my investments. If Dr. Ku is correct that they have some way of bending the rules of magic to locate me despite the little information I've given you, well then, that would complicate matters. And the last thing I want to do is completely sell my people out and leave myself with nothing to negotiate with in the event that you attempt to threaten my life.
Yeah, that's fair.
You may double check using that compass if you wish, but your next key is on the other side of Lake Thalasso, and the only way you're going to reach it is to negotiate with the Aquatarchus. But your friend may hold the key to doing so. Their ink stains your insides. I suspect if I was to cut open your arm and look at your muscles, they would be a matching shade of blue. While
You
I would
said
love...
that this demon wants information on how to break its curse, right?
Indeed, the gods placed a terrible curse of gluttony on it. Its hunger can never be sated, never satisfied, so it hunts for information. It was once a great god of knowledge, but now it's forever chasing the one answer that it will never find.
If you, out of curiosity, with your vast knowledge that you seem to know, if said curse was removed, what would you say would happen?
At this, the construct kind of tilts its head and pauses. And again, it does that motion of like adjusting a suit that's not there. That is an interesting proposal. It's hard to say. Perhaps, given the circumstances, Eat would be grateful. Or perhaps you would simply restore a god to power that was not meant to possess it since a forgotten age. I suppose it all depends on whether you believe the gods were just in cursing the creature in such a matter.
Or it could be both.
Perhaps. I find that often the best answer is the most direct one. Give my regards to Flower and Fall and Mr. Oglatha. We will be meeting again. Is there any other business you have with me while we have this opportunity? I must be recalling this drone shortly, and much as I would love to strap Paul to an operating table and dissect his body for information, I will simply let this play out and observe from a distance.
No, as you said, you'll be seeing us again after we get this key, so if we have anything come up that we want to ask you, well, we'll figure it out.
Very well. In that case, I will be off then. Dr. Koo, before I go, let's not beat around the bush. Are you going to attempt to destroy this drone out of spite? Because if you are, I suggest you do so now. It will be a much easier shot to make.
Not at all.
In that case, I'll be off. Do not attempt to follow me. You will fail.
Yeah, I'm sure.
With that, he gives a metallic press against the door, steps out. You watch as a fire begins to consume the hands and feet of the humanoid figure before
Iron
If I
Man.
blast off.
Yeah.
Oh
Iron
my
Man.
god.
before it
Rocket Man!
shoots off into the air, and you watch as it shoots up with unparalleled speeds before vanishing into the clouds above Tortage. You can hear a few people squawking outside as this fireball launches into the air, and on the moment the door just kind of slowly shuts on its own, drifting closed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over to her and just give her a hug.
So, does anyone else fancy a drink at this moment? I know I do.
Oh my god. Yes.
Okay, everyone to the tavern, drinks on me. We'll study later.
Yeah, I think I could use one of those.
Come on, Anna. Come on.
Come on, Professor,
also,
let's go.
check on the professor. Make sure he doesn't have anything wrong with his head right now. That's a pretty bad bump on it. Actually,
Relaxed.
can I cast Cure Wounds on it?
You may. How much do you heal him for?
I'm gonna cast.
Well,
I need you to roll for me.
Right.
This could be like a first level spell slot, just enough to make sure that there's nothing going on inside. You know.
the 1d8 plus. So the 1d8 plus the spell modifier.
All right. Giving a basic cure wounds to the professor. The injury to his head begins to recede, and but he kind of gives you a smile as the wound closes, and I appreciate the concern, but I'll be quite all right. You need not worry.
Regardless, not good to go into town to go drinking with your head wide open like that.
The professor kind of considers for a moment before giving kind of a yeah, like kind of just a nod of the head, like yeah. With that, you all make your way out and head for the tavern. And yes, sorry.
No, I was just saying, to the tavern.
Paul
All right,
will not
and
be
Paul?
Paul will not be going to the tavern.
All right, Paul, where are you going as the rest of the team abandons the laboratory to drink away their anxieties?
With a little bit of reflecting, he's gonna go back to his just training that he's giving himself.
Okay. Avaben?
Hello.
After a moment, the halfling returns. Under one hand, they have a white bow slung under their arm, and over their other shoulder, they have a curved sheath of what appears to be an elvish blade. All right. Didn't exactly get a lot to work with, but I at least tried to appeal to your taste as best I could. They put both of the items up, and this stuff. Oh boy, what were these from? Right. This here is a elvish bow from Yav. Appears to be composite, and they kind of pull against the composite making. And if you it works only once a day, but if you swear in Elvish, the bow becomes far more accurate and far more painful.
Like, as in, like a swear word?
Not exactly. It's Gyogrin, I believe. Bit of an old artifact. And, you're supposed to whisper in Elvish, death to those who have wronged me.
Sounds rather direct.
They kind of give a bit of a shrug, and...
Why couldn't they come up with something more interesting, like, you know...
No, please, go on.
Like, might them.
Oh, so death to my enemies kind of thing?
That's too long. Destroy.
The halfling kind of rolls their eyes and takes the bow and slings it over their shoulder.
It is interesting.
The Gyogrins are military, so you can't exactly expect creativity. Oh, word of advice, though. If you're gonna swear to kill someone with this thing, you're gonna need to make sure you focus on actually doing that. Even if you kill them on the same day you did it, you're gonna have to at least wait a day. Getting an echo on somebody's mic.
Amanda, I need you to disconnect your Bluetooth.
And if you're gonna commit to if you're gonna commit to using this, you better make sure that you actually want to. This bow binds itself to you with a military oath. If you try to use anything else until you kill your target, it's gonna be harder. The bow's gonna call to you.
I know this bow.
Interesting. What's this? What's the sword?
They unsheath it, and it appears to be a kukri. However, you notice that the kukri is made entirely out of wood, and has a serrated edge.
A wooden sword? That doesn't seem very useful. It seems like it would break pretty quickly.
You'd think that, wouldn't you? This baby was designed by a vampire. And if you manage to
Does it
get
kill
a...
vampires?
Unfortunately, no. It can, but you'll find it's most effective against targets with blood to lose. If you manage to land a powerful enough hit, it does a little bit of extra damage, and it stacks with any damage that it already does. And each time you draw blood from a target using this weapon in this manner, you get a little bit of healing from it. It feeds you, like how a vampire's fang does.
It feeds.
I'll put this to you in simple terms. Use this sword, you get to eat your enemy's blood, and they bleed more.
Sounds disgusting.
Quite, but I've never known blades to be clean. That's why I prefer blunt weapons, personally.
To be fair, though, a blunt weapon can also be kind of messy, you know? Their head could explode.
Not in my hands. Either of these interest you?
How much are they?
They kind of consider for a moment, looking over each, and... I'll tell you what. I like you, so I'm willing to negotiate a discount. 12,000 for the bow, and 3,100 for the kukri.
How much money does Raven actually have?
Probably not that much. I don't know.
You currently have...
158. I guess I could try the sword. I'm not really sure about the bow. It's a lot for me, and I like to use a different variety of weapons as the situation calls for it.
By all means. This one was going to be tough to sell anyway. Alright.
Nothing else that'll make an interesting conversation piece.
That it will. 3,154 gold, please.
Was it 3,000 what?
3,154.
Okay. 3,154.
Alright. I will make an item sheet for this item at another date, but for now, I will tell you that it functions as a +1 short sword. And on a critical hit, it deals 2 points of bleed damage, and with every blow that does bleed damage, you get temporary HP equal to the bleed damage you deal.
Interesting.
Now, was that bow an oath bow?
Yes, it was.
No, like...
However, it wasn't the 5th edition oath bow. It was the Pathfinder oath bow.
Oh.
Remember,
These
you
are
guys
older
you guys were on Plundan, which had other editions. So now the magic item shop is stocked with items from other editions, including this kukri, which is the Pathfinder bloodletting kukri.
Interesting.
Will that be all for you today?
Also, just as a reminder, what was it that he wanted from a Vapen when they first met? You remember that?
No.
Like, they first met, and, like, he was, like, gonna do something for us, but he said, like, a Vapen had to do something.
Oh, they basically just said, like, they would continue to sell you guys items as a discount as long as you visited them periodically.
Okay.
Because they are getting free, effectively free inventory, and a lot of it from just following you guys around.
Well, now that Raven's got this new weapon, he's like, well, you're so great, you know? And he's just gonna hug him.
Aw, tell me that whenever you're sober, and I'll think about taking it as fact. But they pat you on the back, and as they pull away from the hug, they give you a smile and feel free to come back anytime. I'm working on putting everything you guys got me up on display. I can finally sell some monocrystals. That's going to be a real moneymaker.
Yeah, you might actually have more random stuff than that dolly running around.
Oh, I'm not going to be able to compete with Dolly's stock. They won't tell me where they get their inventory.
Maybe they just have a second group of adventurers.
Maybe.
Or maybe they just, you know, kill people for it. I don't know, they're a creepy doll.
No need to be judgmental. All sorts are welcome in Tortage.
Very,
wow.
yeah, it does seem so. For better or worse.
Suppose that depends on who's welcomed. They give you a smirk.
Well, do you want to, you know, have one of those conversations we have?
Gonna have to speak up and speak sober, dear.
I'm sorry. Was I actually quiet?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like... Maybe we could have one of our talks that we have.
They kind of consider for a moment, but eventually give a shrug and... alright. I'm just gonna be sorting inventory in the meanwhile anyway. You guys have any idea where you're going next, out of curiosity?
Not yet. They're gonna figure that out.
Well, suppose let me know before you go. I'd hate to be late for my usual hiding in the ship's cargo hold.
I mean, it seems like you might wind up having too much stuff.
Oh, I'm a firm believer that you can never have too much. Besides, I have to factor in that I'm practically giving it away to you guys, and unfortunately, given the locale, some people are going to try and steal from me. And as unwise as that is, I need to at least be prepared for those that succeed.
Do you need any help with that? We're probably gonna be here for a little bit. I can, you know, help you with people giving you trouble.
Thank you, dear, but nobody's giving me trouble right now. But I'm smart enough to know that you don't get successful in a place like this without trouble finding you.
Well, if there's ever anything you need done, I'm sure we can help.
I'll
Or if you
keep that in
learn of
mind.
any interesting things.
I'll keep that in mind.
After all, anytime we go to an interesting place, you come back with interesting stuff.
That I do. All right. Once things settle back down in Tortage, while there are whispers of the flying man that echo through Tortage, it quickly simply gets lost in the usual mill of rumors. And true to their word, the Boomergangers do not harass you. In fact, Greylog, as you make you and Paul's usual trips down to the docks, you don't even see the Boomerganger preachers that you sometimes see in Tortage. It's as if their presence, at least in Tortage, has completely evaporated with that conversation you had. Avaben, basically, for those of you who are at the negotiations, do you intend to keep this a secret, or are you going to let the other party members know?
No, Greylog will afterwards, after they're done drinking, he'll go find the girls and Ivan and fill them in while Asari goes back with the other two researchers to do their, researching stuff.
All right. Avaben, you are informed by Greylog later that day that the leader of the Boomergangers came to the party, but more to offer his organization surrender, as he's confident that he doesn't need to find any more keys, as you guys are doing it for him, and he's willing to help you out along the way just to speed things along. And if his word is to be believed, your next destination is Thalasso Lake in Yav.
Interesting.
As you guys settle into something of a routine, waiting for the doctors to proofread the Boomergangers' information before you act on it. After all, Yav is a pretty fair distance from Tortage, and you'd hate to waste your time. In the meanwhile, you all settle into the various routines. Paul, over the next couple weeks, what do you end up doing?
Well, after getting all that, and he's just, be kind of like distracted from time to time. Also, I'm gonna make sure my steed is there. He wasn't really showing himself the whole time.
Yes, your steed has been accompanying you.
Yeah, but while he's lost in thought after trying to recall what he did, but he's going to do a lot of training, more himself than just to work up himself so what happened in the arena doesn't happen again.
All right. Distressed by your defeat at the hands of Captain Merrick, you begin a hard regiment of training. And about a week into your downtime, as you're training on the docks, you are approached by the Terror Fang triplets.
As I see them, oh, good to see you. Kind of with all the craziness, I sort of slipped my mind we were supposed to meet.
The girls give you a smile, and one of them speaks up. We needed to take some time. Your friend, Greylog, was kind enough to offer us financial aid to make ourselves comfortable here in Tortage.
Yeah, he does seem like a good person. I guess, have you thought about the whole, what you want to do?
The girls kind of glance to each other. Also, Austin, before I continue, just as a side note, on my screen it says you're not on the Roll20 anymore. If you are still getting the music, that's fine. Just thought I'd check. Okay. They look to each other and... We accepted the money on the condition that we would let you try. We're not happy with our condition, but we will not hold it against you if you fail. Our illness is one that is difficult to treat, even more difficult to cure. But Greylog is not the only good man among the Divine Five. And they hold out their hands to you, and if you believe you can cure us, then we put our trust in you.
Well, I believe I can. I guess, do you wish to do it here, or do you have a preferred location to attempt this?
We have no need for ceremony. If you believe you can do it here, then that is more than acceptable.
Okay. Let's see if I can. Let's. Oh dang! It's a second level. Wait, no. Oh, where's detect? I thought I must have changed the spell out. From what I saw last time, something like this should work. As he's going to place a hand on one of the sisters, and I'm going to use lay on hands. Which, if I use 5 HP, I can either cure a disease or neutralize a poison, which you mentioned that it was a disease, so.
Okay. And does it just say, here, I'll just double check the spell's description. But yes, if you
expend 5 HP from your pool of healing to cure the target one
cure a disease or neutralize a poison. Okay. Paul, as your hands begin to gleam, you cover the infected girl's cold hand and pump excessive healing energy from your knightly oath into the girls. And one by one, and you're going to do this to all three of them?
Yep.
And one by one, you watch as their jaws begin to shrink. Their teeth begin to blunt. And their skin becomes less pallid and more colorful. And their ears round out. And finally, their eyes change into natural shades of, you notice, gleaming blue.
Wow, it worked.
Yeah.
The three of them look to each other, and after a long pause, as you can see the sisters kind of put hands on each other's faces, shoulders. The eldest sister puts a hand on her chest and seems startled when she feels a heartbeat. And the youngest sister goes to the middle sister and just sticks a finger in her mouth to feel her teeth. And her sister kind of bats her hand away. Stop that! But as they look to each other and it seems to sink in, the eldest sister takes your hand again, and their hands noticeably warmer and more welcoming. They grasp it tightly, and their eyes water as she speaks in a voice no longer slurred by the massive vampire teeth blocking her tongue. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. I hope the money you've gotten can help you start a new life.
Excuse me.
She smiles, her eyes glistening, and you've given us everything we need to start a new life. And she pulls you into a hug, and the other two sisters join. Thank you.
Anything you need.
They step away, and all three give you deep, grateful bows. And the younger sister immediately bolts up the stairs of the docks towards town. And her elder sister calls up to her, "Where are you going? I need to see what food tastes like!"
Well, I mean, I guess
Somebody had plans of what they were gonna do.
well, I guess I mean, I could take a break from what I was doing. Y'all want to go get something to eat?
Yes, yes, yes. We'll treat you. It's the least we can do. And she kind of blushes a little bit and looks to her sister, who just smirks and nods to you. We've forgotten the taste of food ourselves, so it'll be nice to remember.
Well, let's not keep your sister waiting. Though I don't know if she does. Seems like she's so stacked, so I'm not sure she would wait.
Yes, we should catch up to her. It's probably going to take her the longest to remember we're not immortal anymore.
Yeah, that would definitely be something to remember.
Are vampires really immortal? There's a lot of ways to kill a vampire.
Well, I think they just live forever, right?
As long as they eat, and she's more referring to the fact that now, if a random mugger in Tortage stabs her, she's going to bleed out and die.
And there's no biting to get over that.
Yeah. And as you guys head up the stairs together, the eldest sister smiles to you, Paul, and kind of curling her hair around her finger nervously, she smiles to you, and besides, if something did happen to her, I suspect you would be right behind to heal us.
He's nice like that.
Yeah, as long as I'm there, I will do what I can. Hopefully you don't find yourself in trouble where, either I or someone nearby can help.
Thank you, Paul. Paul, you intensify your training, but the niceness that you were able to provide your promised service to the girls does give you further motivation to continue training, becoming a better and better healer and a greater and greater fighter to protect your growing list of comrades as threats against you continue to spiral just as badly. Greylog, with the finances you've gathered over the course of your journey, much like Paul, you have a goal in mind, and you set about paying for construction. It takes a bit of bribes to the Thieves Guild to get some land on the west, or I believe that'd be the east side, to get some bribes delivered to the east side of town, the territory of the Thieves Guild. I will say, with that brought up, as you start making the arrangements for construction, you are told that, of course, this is something you're more than capable of doing, but because it might matter to you, I figured I'd double check with you during the downtime. Depending on where you build this tavern will determine what criminal organization's territory it's within. So with that in mind, do you wish to operate in Central Tortage, which is operated by the Slavers? Operate on the east side, which is operated by the Thieves Guild, or on the west side, which is operated by an unknown mafia family that you've heard of their activities but haven't seen them personally. So, Slavers, Thieves Guild, or the Mafia.
What a choice.
So, his original idea was actually to build just slightly outside of the town.
Okay, so you're going to build out in the jungle. All right.
Yeah, like
I
not
guess
very
so, he
far, like
wouldn't be under one
maybe
of
like
those.
50 feet from the town.
Okay.
Is that still going to be in someone's territory?
Technically, the Slavers occasionally operate in the jungle. However, the jungle isn't safe for Tortage people to travel through for the most part. So it's
But
possible.
he wouldn't, like, would he know that it's
Yeah,
not safe? So we'll get very few customers.
Well, bear in mind, 50 feet away from town is workable. I'm more saying because the jungle is not safe, or outside of the Slavers, most people don't operate out there. So basically, Slavers might come and pester you occasionally, but you won't be within their de facto territory for the most part.
Make sure you put up a wall around your tavern.
Yeah. Or have a bouncer to double check people.
He'll
What's
build
the
it inside
danger
the
of
city.
jungle exactly?
There's a lot of jungle beasts that live out there.
So you're gonna need a wall for those.
Yeah, the Tortage,
Well,
part of the reason it's so popular is because the land is not tamed. This is not a safe place. This has been mentioned in a lot of the downtime that while you guys sleep, you can always hear the calls of jungle monsters outside of town and the screams of people who get caught by them.
Yeah, but he mentioned
Yeah.
he's gonna go inside the city now.
Yeah, he's gonna stick with inside the city.
All right, if you're gonna do inside the city, then which organization's territory do you want to
Evil
build
do
in?
you wish to deal with?
Bear in mind, just for the record, this is going into the construction costs we discussed off camera. This is basically more just one of the organizations is going to basically be the one getting that money. So it's just who are you giving that money to build it?
You want a mafia, thieves, or heaven
Slaves.
forbid, slavers?
I'll probably. I'm just gonna go with the slavers
Yeah.
Okay.
because that sounds like a good area.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same.
Well, for business at least.
Okay. You
Well, I
pay your
guess they are businessmen themselves.
I was gonna do the slavers and then have some other plans.
all right, Greylog. You pay bribe money to the slavers, and if with that in mind, you can totally safely build in the jungle if you want.
It's just.
Mm,
But what
Maybe
about
just
the
stick to town?
creatures?
nah, I want to stick to inside the city.
Okay.
Why risk the people's safety? Because it's hard to get money for a dead customer.
Fair. Okay. In that case,
No, it's not. Just pick their pockets.
Yeah, but they don't make more money.
There's a guy who comes into my work all the time and works at a funeral director, so he literally gets money from the dead.
Greylog paying bribes to the local slavers. You get permission to begin construction of a tavern, and in fact, you even manage to get it for cheap, as they use slave labor to have it built.
Oh, great. Your tavern is built on the backs of slaves.
Yeah.
And as construction of your tavern begins, if you're curious for location, your tavern is going to be not far from the central main street of town. So you'll actually be in a very heavily trafficked area. Your tavern is being built just up the road from that wizard that Flower and Fall like to visit, and just down the street from the Halfling's magic shop.
Oh, perfect.
It's actually a pretty good spot.
It's a great spot.
Tavern, is it?
It's about like a couple blocks away from the other tavern, but bear in mind, Tortage has a lot of taverns, because there are sailors and thieves everywhere, so everyone drinks. So it won't be that big of a deal. The entire population is basically 80% alcoholics and 20% people who don't want to admit they're alcoholics. So you
It's
likely
a tavern, inn, and also shop.
and also in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that just comes with being a tavern.
No, actually, being a tavern and being an inn are different.
Really?
Yeah, a tavern is just a place that serves food and drinks, and inn is a place where you sleep.
I thought, historically, they were usually one and the same.
They would often combine themselves, but not all the time. It's a common misconception.
Yeah.
All right.
True.
And we've already discussed the cost, so feel free to deduct the discussed amount of money.
Oh, I'd
Now
already
we run
done
a
that when we
business.
talked about it.
And while you're overseeing construction of your tavern, the slavers assist you in the building. What else are you going to be doing during the downtime?
He wanted to go back into the ocean and keep salvaging.
Okay. Anything
And
else?
he also wanted to try to get a proficiency with wood carving tools.
Okay. Make a.
And you said that the survival would be with a disadvantage because
Yes.
of everything else.
Yes, so make a survival check at disadvantage.
Why is it a
Okay.
disadvantage?
Because he's doing a
Because
bunch of other
he's
stuff.
doing so many things in such a
Yeah.
short time that his focus is going to be. Basically, imagine if you had to do that. You're overseeing construction of a bar, shop, hotel, while also teaching yourself wood carving, while also scavenging shipwrecks, while also seeing to your day-to-day needs.
And you said it was survival, correct?
Yes.
That's how I feel every week.
Yeah. So, sir, you need me to roll?
Well, I got it.
Okay, cool.
I'm stopped for the night now.
Okay, cool. In that case, proceed.
Okay,
Now run a
so
business.
it is a 15.
All right. With a 15. Searching the shipwrecks of the turbulent seas around Tortage is never a easy proposition, but you're getting, as you're getting stronger and stronger, you're getting better and better at going deeper and deeper. So you're able to get further into the shipwrecks that you may have had to pass up on or before now. So with that said, give me just a second here.
Do you actually have like a list of all the shipwrecks around Tortage?
Yeah, and I'm basically just deciding what he manages to find.
Does the list grow?
Yes, actually. I make the list like, basically he gets access to more and more things as he goes.
No, I mean like as in, do you like actually plan out like, okay,
Like
this shipwreck
shipwrecks,
is going
yeah.
to happen at this time?
Yeah, shipwrecks.
There's not like, at least on the list, it's not that there's new shipwrecks, it's that Tortage is surrounded by so many that he can theoretically keep doing this for pretty much the entire adventure and never run out of ships. Although I do add a new one periodically just to be safe. Alright. Need to actually tally all this up. As you search, you're able to find a few ships that appear to have been largely treasure transports. So with that in mind, you do not find much in the way of items or jewels and whatnot, but you do find quite a few bits of coin, which I will tally up. I will go ahead and tally up for you.
20,000 gold.
While I'm doing that, Avaven, over the course of the downtime, what will you be doing?
Well, if he has time. If he has time, he might spend a little. See if the old crew, the old ship crew that takes his places, can let him visit home briefly again.
Okay. You're gonna make a run home for a visit. Anything particularly you'd like to do while you're there, or just stay with family for a little bit until the adventure calls you again.
Does he mention this to Greylock? He could speed him along on getting there at least.
How can he do that?
I have a spell that will instantly allow you to get there.
Teleport.
Teleportation by plants.
Via plants, yeah.
And he's seen your town, so he transport you there almost instantly.
Matthew.
Yes.
Would this count as using a plant in his society?
No, because it doesn't drain the plant in any way. Like, you're not taking from it, it's just there.
Okay.
Doesn't
So
affect it.
So it's culturally acceptable.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
You
Since
sure
this is down.
You sure this isn't going to turn me into a plant?
Positive.
Very well then.
Okay.
How do I then get back?
What day do you want to come back and what time? And I will open up another portal for you to come through.
Hmm. I guess in a month's time. A month from now. Unless the doctors come back with their results sooner.
Well, if they come back with more information sooner, I will come back and get you.
Sounds fair.
Okay. This is, of course, easily doable. So while you're away, again, Avaban, is there anything specific you want to do while you're gone, or are you just going to hang out with family and friends and while away the downtime until the doctors come back with more information?
Spends the time with family and friends and, some personal time with you all.
Okay.
His, partner and all.
Yes. Okay. Do-do-do.
But I guess Greylock is also going to hire people to work at his new tavern. Might
Okay.
be beneficial.
All right. How many people do you want to hire, and what roles do you want fulfilled?
Is that going to be like
some
a regular
waitresses,
payment?
Yes.
cooks, and maids, of course, to help upkeep the inn.
Yeah, you need someone.
I'd say about, and of course, I definitely need a couple bouncers.
You also need a bartender.
Yeah. So pretty much the basics for what would be needed. Like about 20 people, maybe.
Okay. Okay. So I'll just to make this easier, cooks and bouncers will cost you 2 gold a day, and maids and bartenders and things of that nature will cost you 2 silver pieces a day.
Okay. Just
returning D&D.
Can you help me keep track of that?
Why not?
I mean, yeah, there's systems for it, so
Yeah.
might as well.
I thought about.
Yeah. Can you help me keep track of the
money
amounts and stuff?
I mean, of course, just basically like with those expenses noted, like how many of each are you comfortable paying for? So yeah, like I said, the bouncers and cooks will each one would cost you 2 gold and per day, and each maid and bartender would cost you 2 silver per day.
We'll do 2 about 2 to 3 bartenders.
Okay.
3 cooks. 2 bouncers.
Okay, 2 cooks,
and
2
then
bouncers.
The rest maids. Maids and waitresses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I want this to succeed. You should basically set up a system where they pay themselves from the money they make, because you're going to be away for a long time.
All right. Okay,
yeah,
so
I'm of course going to have someone in charge of it all while I'm gone.
System.
That was pretty good. All right. Okay. So that's it basically in total 17 maids and bartenders and such, and 3 in total between cooks and bouncers.
No, 3 cooks and 2 bouncers. That's 5
okay.
total
Three
for that.
Okay. So that'll, in that case, if you want 20 to be your total, then that's 5 skilled, 15 unskilled. Got it.
And then you have to think about supply.
Well, he's already paid for supplies, but at this point he's just paying for
He might need like a manager to manage the place while he's gone on his adventure.
Yeah, Yeah, he's gonna look into one of those as well.
All right, that'll be an additional skilled hireling.
Basically, someone to, well, Greylog's way, keep things running and keep people paid.
We're all like, okay.
Yeah, and I'll do 2 of those. 1 for during the day, 1 for night.
We're all working together. Let's make this business amazing.
Yeah, we gotta make this business work. And would you do me a favor and make me a persuasion check?
Yeah.
Persuasion check.
Yeah, persuasion check.
You'll see.
You gotta persuade someone to do something.
He's got to persuade someone to be the night manager. Because nobody wants to work nights.
Not quite.
I doubt that.
Natural 20, so 24.
As construction reaches its halfway point, so like about 2.5 weeks in, Avaben's off visiting family in Sherwood. Paul's up to his training at the docks. The twins are visiting friends in Tortage, and Asari's seeing to their research. Eventually, one of the slavers who received your bribe money to build on their land approaches you as you're overseeing the construction site. And you can see he's a sharply dressed Tortasian native. Dark hair, a thick black beard, a red cap over his head, smoking a cigar, a very nice looking one, and wearing just these very simplistic green work clothes that kind of blend into the jungle trees across town. And as you're overseeing construction, he kind of pats you on the shoulder and kind of gives you a wave and holds out an extra cigar to you.
He will politely pass. That's one habit he doesn't indulge in.
He gives a shrug and pockets the cigar into his shirt pocket for later, but as he smokes his own, he kind of looks at you, and you can see his eyes are this beady, dark black, and he kind of stares at you for a moment, and finally when he speaks, "So, let me get right to business. I hear word around town is that you're looking to hire people for this establishment of yours."
Of course. Can't do it all on my own.
That you can't. Businesses don't run themselves, my friend. And speaking of running businesses, I think I have an arrangement that can benefit the both of us.
I'm listening.
How about, instead of having to worry about paying all of these workers, I can get you a few hired hands, and the only ones you have to worry about paying is me.
So, pretty much I can buy my workers and then they just work for free.
That's the idea. The only people you have to worry about paying are their minders. Someone's got to keep an eye on them while you're away, huh? I hear you're the sort of wanderlust traveling type. Got to make sure they don't run off into the jungle, huh?
Yeah, that's true. And how much would you be wanting for that?
He smirks and puffing on his cigar. He kind of thinks to himself and, well, I'll say, do you tell him, will you tell him how much you're, like what kind of workers you need?
Yeah, what kind of workers he wants? Yes, he will give him the list of what he's looking for, and also the fact that he will need someone, the 2 managers as well. You know, just to make sure it all runs smoothly.
As you give him the numbers, he kind of slowly nods. You imagine he's doing the math in his head himself, and all right. How about this? You pay me 1,400, and I can supply you your maids, your bartenders, your cleaners and such, and you don't have to worry about paying a copper. In exchange, I will provide you with some of my overseers to act as your managers. They'll still be expecting payment, but it's a lot less to worry about paying. What do you say?
Okay. So he's pretty much covering everyone that he needs for
Yeah,
14.
so basically to break down the math of what he's offering you, what you need to run this place based on what you want is 6 skilled hirelings and 14 unskilled hirelings. Normally you would be paying 2 gold a day for the skilled hirelings and 2 silver a day for the unskilled. But what he's offering you is that instead you give him a one-time payment of 1,400 gold. He gives you 14 slaves who work for free, and in exchange, you just have to do that one-time payment and pay the skilled hirelings who, instead of having to manage, who's getting paid, how much, all they're doing is making sure the slaves don't escape.
Sounds like he's offering you to buy slaves.
Yeah, he's 100% offering for you to buy
I
slaves.
have a feeling at least Paul will have a problem with this.
Yeah, but at least Greylock would have them treated better.
That is true.
Are we getting into that argument?
Well, it's that,
Also-
or most of these people would probably be going, like, for lack of a better way to put it, into prostitution, stuff like that.
True. You know, sometimes you gotta pick the lesser evil.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you have to work within the system to help out.
Yeah.
So Matthew, I asked you a question whenever you have the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll pay him the 1,400.
He gives you a smile and a pleasure doing business with you, friend. I'll have the cargo delivered as soon as the construction is completed. Don't worry. And he holds out a hand to you. You build on our turf, you're one of us. I'll make sure you get good stock.
And make sure that they are treated well. I don't want my, as you put it, stock damaged
Of course,
while
my
I'm
friend.
away.
I can't make any promises for the jungle creatures, but I can make promises for my people. Any preference on what sorts you're getting? Most of our stock is dark elves and greenskins.
Oh. Oh, it gets worse.
Like now I'm not the only one who'd have a problem with this. Sounds like.
What do they mean by greenskins?
Orcs, goblins, trolls, and ogres.
Yeah.
That's basically like saying another word that we cannot say on Twitch.
I think what the word is. I don't know.
No, he's not overly picky. As long as they work well.
He gives you a tip of the cap, and... All right, my friend. I'll see the cargo delivered. I'll make sure you get the best of the best. Welcome to the slavers.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one, but oh well.
Yeah.
With that established, boy, I love fucking with my parties.
Would it be too much to, like, say that the tavern has a basement that he could have made into, like, a nice, relatively nice living quarters for his workers?
That's going to cost you extra and take longer, but you can certainly add that if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as long as they get it all done.
All right,
But they gotta have somewhere to be. So.
Okay. And I'm assuming you want, like, fairly nice quarters. You're not just gonna have them just live in a grimy basement, I assume.
No, they will have, like, each one will have, like, it won't be a huge room, but it'll be a nice room. It'll have a bed, the basics.
Okie dokie. As I said, I love fucking with my parties.
He's like, oh, he chose slaver country. Well,
No,
I
yeah,
know what I'm going
like
to do.
while I was working out the logistics, I was like, oh, come to think of it, like he paid the slavers their bribe. They'd probably just offer to get him free workers.
It's gonna be interesting to see the reaction to this.
I have some ideas.
Is Paul gonna set the slaves free?
I mean, yeah. Like to be fair, the reason I'm not too worried is remember, yeah, that is always an option. Like now that you have them, you can do whatever you want, so you can totally just set them free and pay them anyway.
Yeah, set them free or pay them through food and living area in that area. Hence why he's having it built.
It's just like the thinking of
Free
the
spot to
antebellum
live.
South.
Food.
Hey, we give them a home to live in.
Yeah, but to be fair, Greylog's not like purporting it. He's not spreading it. He's just like, hey,
Fair.
I can't set all
Fair.
of them free, but I can help some of them.
Very fair. And honestly, the living conditions are probably still going to be better.
Yes. Speaking of, all right. So to make this to give this place functional living conditions for now, I will say, would you be okay with them just living in the inn area if that means less rooms, or do you specifically want them to have their own basement area to live in? Specifically,
basement area, because the upper area will be for paying customers.
Okay.
Those are for the
For lack of
people
better
who
way to
have
put
money.
it.
Don't.
Yeah, I like the he kind of tell he shriveled up as he tried to say that, like the paying customer.
Well, it's like he's got to make a profit from this place. He's trying to do good here, but he's got to make a
Fucking with my
profit.
part, because we have not gone into at all the fucking fucked up shit that happens in Tortage. I'm so glad. All right,
It's kind of
that'll be an extra 2,500 to have this installed.
how much
Okay, now,
gold
how much
does
did
he
he?
fucking have?
I mean, he did a lot of has a lot of money farming.
Okay, how much did he get from the deepwater fishing?
Yes,
excavation?
I wasn't sure if you wanted to cover that first. So yeah, 2,500 and an extra 2 weeks of construction to get the basement built. But yes,
because
in
I only
total,
have 2,300 right now.
He's
while
going to spend literally all of his gold on this.
seems like it.
Yeah, spend all his gold to make more money.
All right, make sure you have your money pulled up because you got a pretty decent haul. While scavenging the shipwrecks, you found what appears to be the sunken remains of a treasure ship. From what little you're able to find that hasn't been destroyed, it looks like this was being delivered to a church in Hyperborea, but got sunk in the Baraka Isles and washed up here. And you managed to collect pretty much everything they were going to be sending to this church, which is 12 platinum pieces.
That's what, 12.
A platinum.
That's like 120 gold, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yes.
So yeah, 12 platinum pieces, 298 gold pieces,
Okay.
195 silver pieces,
Okay.
and 207 copper pieces.
Okie dokie.
So that's your total haul.
Not too bad.
You made it seem like it was gonna be a lot more.
That's a lot of gold in total, to be fair.
I mean, it's a lot to the aspect of like, yeah, that's
The average person in this world.
yeah. The problem is for adventure that can go gone in like one shopping trip.
Yeah, he's about to spend all that right now.
Yep, he just did. He has 335 gold worth now.
Alright, but that did give you enough to get the basement installed?
Yes.
Okay.
Does he generate income from this?
Yes, he will, actually, but he needs to wait till it's done.
And he probably needs to have to actually collect it, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But, I mean, you guys stop here after literally every adventure, so... With that, is that everyone's business covered?
Yeah. Plus, after this adventure's done, he has a place to work with. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, so that
Yeah, I mean, he
that also
basically
gives
gets
me
free
my
board.
Oh, apparently I already had carpentry tools as a proficiency.
We can go ahead and grab another one then, since you already invested the time into it. In the meantime, Greylog, as you oversee construction, Avaben, training and wandering about Tortage,
Wait,
Paul,
what? I thought Paul was the one who was training.
well, yeah,
Maybe I went
because
home.
whenever you messaged me, you said that you would also be like just keeping up on training your new abilities. So I figured you'd be doing that while you're resting.
Yeah, but he not in Tortage. Or at least not for like a month. I don't know if they're there for multiple months and spend the rest of the time in Tortage.
Greylog, as you're salvaging the treasure shipment, you send Avaben home to rest with family. Paul spending a lot of time with the Terrorfang triplets, who you managed to cure of their vampirism. And Asari, keeping the warning words of the Boomer Gangers leader in mind, you, Asari, and the professor continue your research. And after about a month, you arrive at the conclusions that I sent you over personal messaging. And with that, you send out Anna to spread the word. Paul, as you're training on the docks. Greylog, as you're overseeing construction of your tavern. The above ground portion has been finished, but now they're digging out the basement, and I'm assuming you want to wait until that's finished to have your workforce transported in?
Correct.
So the above ground section is completed, but the basement is still being dug out, so it's not open for business yet. The twins hanging out with Magar the Mighty Mage, and Greylog, assuming you want to do what you suggested earlier and just use transport via plans to go fetch Avaben and bring him back.
Correct.
Avaben, a month into your stay, Greylog returns to inform you that the professors have found the next key, and you part from your family and lover to return to Tortage, bow over your shoulder and ready to resume your adventure. Asari, one by one, Paul, sweating from his training, Flower and Fall, smiling and happy from their visit with their friend. Greylog, hands a bit calloused from overseeing the construction and woodworking, and Avaben, looking refreshed and relaxed, one by one, begin to pile into the laboratory, and Anna slides around her notes into a presentable fashion. Paul, you managed to catch various maps, the compass laying freely, and multiple scrawled chicken scratch notes. And Blue Moon, the assassin who still claims rights to the compass, leans happily on the table, almost deliberately sitting on top of some of Anna's notes, and Anna kind of scowls at her. And your disguised feathered serpent companion leans through the doorway, those who own the artifacts having some right to know where the next ones will be and where you're going next. And as everyone gathers, Asari gives a smile, and Anna turning to the Dragonborn. All right, I think we've got what we need to find the next key. Asari, you want to pass on?
Well, Amanda forgot his name. The robot man. Oh, well,
Again,
we
he never
didn't
gave
get
you
a
it.
name. Okay. That was the thing why I don't fucking remember his name. Anyway, robot guy wasn't too far off. The next hang on, I gotta go back to the message. The next key is the spell twin wands, as he said, and the compass, interestingly enough, has been kind of giving us leads to that Lake Thalasso and Yav, which I found interesting. It's in a country called Tabadra, which recently came into new leadership. So it could be a bit of a wild card, but sounds promising.
Anna gives a nod, and the Spelltune Wands are said to be able to duplicate spells from anywhere in the world. You cast a spell through one wand, and it replicates through the other without draining your magic.
So there's 2 of them?
Aye, but from the looks of it, they seem to lead to the same place. Lake Thalasso, but it's a dead end. So either they're at the bottom of the lake, or... what?
Well, yeah, well, didn't he say that there was a door? A secret door?
Aye. But that's assuming we trust him. Well,
I might be able to figure out if there is a door there, if it's protected by magic. He said that it was something like that, so I'm not quite sure if what I have in mind will work.
Well, he also said to talk to that demon.
Yes, it does seem that it goes in Eat's territory.
So maybe if we talk to Eats, maybe they can get us the wands. We just got to give them information. You wouldn't happen to have anything on spell breaking, like curses or anything, like a book on that?
I have a few, but that's mostly wizard stuff. You'd have to talk to Maggoth for more, but I doubt it's going to be that easy. This is a curse set by the gods. Eat's been trying to break it since the Third Age began, probably even longer, and hasn't had any luck.
Do we have any allies in Yav?
I think the first mate of the breakers from Yav.
Well, that's the trick, is getting there first, so maybe we can make a connection.
Maybe. The king there, recently passed away, left the kingdom to one of his adopted children. So, be careful. Tabadra's bandit country.
When it comes down to it, we can always try to break his curse with, like, Ivan did with that magic clown.
Breaking a
Apollo's
spell.
Wreath.
Breaking a spell temporarily and breaking a curse permanently are very different beasts.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll turn to Paul. Didn't you say at one point that you were able to cure curses?
Don't think I've... No, I don't... I did ask about the idea of it possibly being cursed. I never said I could, but...
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you're normally the healer of the group, so I didn't know if that was in the realm of your possibilities.
As the doctor mentioned, this is a curse of the gods, so I'm not sure my power is sufficient.
Well, I guess our next step is to go and have a conversation and see what kind of information this deity is, craving, for lack of a better term.
Sounds good. Everybody pack warm. Yav gets cold.
Oh, the cold doesn't bother me.
Anna kind of rolls her eyes, but kind of playfully elbows you as she gathers up her notes. And I think I'm going to tag along for this one. Dealing with a bunch of pirates is one thing, but I at least want to make sure I'm in the area. Besides, I've always wanted to see the Shadow Lily Confederacy.
Would I have heard about the Shadow Lily Confederacy?
Make a history check.
Okay.
Raven does not care if he's heard of the Shadow Lily Confederacy.
Yeah.
Not his problem.
Sorry, my brain's not working. What kind of roll?
History.
Yeah, 'cause you're trying to
I
recall
rolled a
something.
natural 3, so 10.
You've heard the name before, but really all you know is that it's just one of many countries in Yav.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Yov.
The political situation there is complicated. Always some kind of war going on, political conspiracies, that kind of crap.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bunch of bullshit that I don't care about.
Yeah, we're not here for politics. We're here for treasure hunting.
That's too.
Certainly did get involved with politics a bit with those pirates.
Well.
That's not politics. That's anarchy. Very different.
And survival.
That too.
I mean, one man's politics is another man's disaster.
Survival.
Anna gives a shrug, and you guys gather what you need. The professor and I will pass on word to the Breaker that we're going to make a voyage to Yav. And, well, I guess be ready for anything. Once you get to the lake, I'm afraid you're on your own. All we have is the word of that machine, or whoever controlled it, that the wands are really there. The compass points to it, but that's the farthest it can take me. So you'll be on your own finding it once you get there. Try to get as much information from Ede as you can.
I've got some ideas. I'll go through it with the rest of everyone, and we'll see if we can't do this.
All right. Good luck, team. Let's do this. And that is where we're going to end this interlude. As Chapter 4 officially begins. Black Blood and Blue Ink.
Boy. Oh boy.
The party...
This will be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The party prepares to travel to the distant foreign landscape of Yav, a politically torn land fresh off of a brutal war that is hosting the Spell Twin Wands, a set of wands that can duplicate spells. And supposedly, it is within the borders of a politically upheaved bandit kingdom and under the protection of a gluttonous demon god. Meanwhile, the Boomergangers have called off their part of the hunt. However, you still have competition out there. The pirates said that they were interested in getting the treasure behind the door for themselves. And, of course, the Dark Elf rebels you met are still unaccounted for. The Bees Without Hives and the Brethren of the Coast are still competition. And who knows what mysterious agenda the Boomergangers are pursuing. However, for now, they seem inclined to ally with you. As you travel into foreign lands, a new adventure and chapter begins. Check out our website at officiald5hub.info, resurrected from the grave like a filthy necromancer jumping from one campaign to another. Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly. Support our episodes on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get them from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/OddTornadoProductions. Check out Odd Tornado Productions official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Paladins Twitch channel at twitch.tv/AustinFreak123. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon, that link to be posted as well, on Ko-fi at kofi.com/OddTornadoProductions, and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TornadoOdd, TNO are capitalized, if you want to get live updates on everything we post and when we go live in case you want to catch us. And if you want to see more of this party, plus or minus a few, Tune in tomorrow, Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight, for our Tuesday game of Black Ink and Blue Blood, featuring a party of politicians and nobles unraveling a political conspiracy if they can stop stabbing each other in the back long enough. Thanks everyone at the table so much for playing. Thanks everyone at home so much for watching, and we'll see you all next week.
Oh my goodness.